Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. We're looking today at Bepro on the chart, guys. Quick one, they have announced in the last few days that they hit the first workflow finalization. So obviously Bepro being very heavily focused on development programs, especially in SDKs, JavaScript and all these things within development programs. So those that haven't seen it, go and check our intro video to Bepro, which I'll leave at the end of this one, but also our 5 top reasons why we are investing in Bepro and why we think it's such an awesome project. But very top line, guys, there's so many different things that Bepro do, but they have kind of like a service mechanism. Companies or projects can come to Bepro to help ask for help with coding and infrastructures, whether it be towards the API or their exchange platform or this kind of thing, or even in the back end of like protocol mechanisms and testing hacks kind of thing. You see like the words hackathon around quite a bit. So there's all that sort of stuff, but they can also provide the service of doing it for you. So if you don't have the resources as a project, you can also utilize that as well. But also developers in general can come on here and help improve the system of Bepro and other people's products and services, utilizing the mechanism behind, and they of course get rewarded with Bepro as well. So it's quite early days for this one. I was invested mainly inside of it for like the esports mechanisms and stuff that are coming, maybe more so next year perhaps. But I think it's a really top project. It's very early days. People get frustrated with its lack of price movements and stuff, but I disagree. I think it's moved quite a lot over the year. In fact, let's talk about it right now. 2,500% up year to date. So yeah, I would say that's moved. Obviously we're not finished yet. We've had a couple of different corrections. I think there's mixed feelings about Bepro, and like I say, some people in the comments like, oh, it's terrible, it's not moving, I'm bored of it, I'm moving it somewhere else. And I'm like, that's fine, it's down to you. But for me, I have strategies behind all assets, and this is one that I'm holding for a long time. I've got some great staking through KuCoin. That's finished now, but it was enough to get a really good stash together, and I'll see how it goes this year. I'm not entirely fully sure what the price point could be with Bepro. I do still believe that it can at least get to the 10-cent mark, maybe 20, or certainly the higher spectrum of the tens. And some people are saying it'll be a lot higher than that. It really depends on how the roadmap develops for the next month or so, or certainly the next few months coming up in the bull run that's taking pace very soon. And we'll see how it goes. But for me, like I said, I'm not fussed. If I see dips, I try and get a small bag each time of it, because I think in the future we'll look back at these prices and think, wow, these are ridiculously low, and think how many you could try and obtain in these areas. So there's my price prediction up the top there, 20 cents. Let us know what you think in the comments below, what you're going to see as a price prediction for the end of the bull run coming up, or even at the end of the year, whichever floats your boat. But guys, let's look at the chart right now in a macro level on here. So obviously down 8.5% on the week. The month we're floating around 20 cents. So it's very much a neutral ground right now in the indicator. Currently floating at a price of 1.2 cents, or just about 1.2 cents. Yesterday it had the dive down. We've seen this across a multitude of charts, the Evergrande nonsense and other bits and pieces. But in general, I think it was overdue. There was a lot of over leveraging going on in a multitude of markets, and a bit of profit taking as well. But you could argue with Bepro, should that really have been an issue? Because we haven't really done much. What's the really main difference between 0.011 and 0.0012? It's not really here or there, really, in most cases. But what I'm pleased about, guys, is this trend line. I think this is really nice. So actually, if we go back a bit more, we can actually see like over purchasing here, coming back down to say actually this was quite crazy movement, really, because actually if you draw the line in a trend aspect, it's actually moving very, very securely. And I really like the fact as well that it's taken a step ladder approach kind of thing. It's like snakes and ladders, isn't it? But each time it's had a mini correction. It's really healthy, in my opinion. And yes, it's slow, and we'd like to see more, not parabolic, but more, you know what I mean, like some Vizaz Bepro. Come on, get some Vavavoom in your chart here. But I'm liking it because it's given opportunity, like I said, to get them at really fantastic prices. I'm getting loads of mine well under that cent mark, and I think it's definitely in the next few months these prices will probably be laughed at, arguably, and also I think in the future, for sure, in like a few years' time, you'll be looking back, all the people that got it at 1 cent. Well, here's your opportunity. So I have to see how it goes. Yeah, we always call it like be slow and be patient and all these kind of like Bepro puns. B puns? Could call them B puns. Give us some B puns in the comments, please. So right now, like I said, floating around this 0.012. So that's where we sort of hit down yesterday as well. So what we got here, I've just got the yellow lines here for more longer term, and I've got the coloured fib retracement in the background here for a bit more of a macro level. So you can see really on this red line we're sort of matching right now the sort of, you can see it actually. Let me just remove the coloured one for a second just so I make it a bit clearer. So I'm going to draw in a quick line just so you can see what I'm saying. This is an orange line, I believe. So if I just draw where we're currently floating and where we hit yesterday as a close, look at this. It's pretty much around this nice, interesting level here. So we could see a matching move, like in all of these sections that we've seen, happening once again here. Bit of a longer take up because of this big drop that we had, but actually it's not really that much different to this one here at all. And arguably even here, if you ignore the candlestick and you actually look where the wicks went, it's even less move than that was. So I think we'll see some positive turnaround on Bepro. Will we get back to our 1.49 mark or 1.5 cents? Absolutely, I believe we will. When will that happen? Well, I'm not quite sure if it will happen immediately, but certainly maybe perhaps into next week. I'd anticipate that. And then once we break that, it's really a test now, because if we can get to the 1.5 and push above that and get closes over that, that's where I see us taking us more confidently towards 2 cents again. And if you look back in the history, apart from this ridiculous move here on this day, crazy, but just pulling this back in, once we get to those kind of 1.5 cent marks, look at this. You're seeing really top mark there that we had on the 4th of November, almost kind of matching around these areas that we saw in the middle of August, and loads of action around these areas. It just simply was going all over the place, but never could quite support at this level at all. So it's too early. It was rejected massively, and that's why we're here now, and that's why we're taking probably the slower approach, as it were. So I think once we get to this 1.5 cent again, I think we'll have a lot more ammunition behind us to push it up further and get more confidence behind it to maintain that level, rather than keep doing this momentous up and down thing going on here. It's like a slinky going up the stairs rather than down it. So that's my observation there, really, is clearing this off first of all in the next 2-3 days, getting that bounce back up to try and get towards the 1.5 cent again, and get there, support there. And I think generally, if the momentum of all the other markets are going in the same direction, I think that's achievable for us to really maintain and push this to secure it. Then if we get that support, like I said, the next sort of levels up here, 1.7, 2 cents, I think that could happen quite quickly, maybe even towards the end of November and into December, where we might start seeing some really nice higher prices again. What was the all-time high? Let me just remind myself of that. I think it was up here. Here we go. I think it was 4.7. So we've got a while to go yet, guys. That's why I was saying, like, there's plenty of room in the tank. Let's be patient, and we will definitely get there. So I just thought I'd bring this one to your attention again, guys. Keep it up to date, keep the flow of information. Let's look quickly before we wrap this chart up. I'm just going to pull these up. So we're in a bit of the selling mode at the moment. Look at these ones here. It'd be really interesting if it matches that. And yeah, I guess we have to count this, but yeah, of course, what's happened yesterday with all the Evergrande stuff not helped to make that look a bit worse than it probably should be. But the RSI, which is the green line we're looking at here, is at 50. It's very much in limbo mode. We've already had our lower end spectrums down here, so we're really, like I said, looking for support, and we will find that soon, I'm sure. That's what I want to see. I'm not expecting this to last too much longer, and again, switching back into a buying mode again, what I would really like to see is this confidence that we saw throughout October, really, all the way up to the 20th. that I think is on the cards at some point in the next couple of weeks. And finally, the MACD here, you can see the switch over went into the bear mode. So thanks Evergrande for that. But yeah, I would like to see a bit of a switch. And like I said, I think if you look here, 2-3 days, that's what I kind of see as a matching point before the algorithm kicks back in and we might start a bit of more of a buy mood again. So guys, let us know what you think in the comments below of Bepro. Are you holding, staking? Are you selling? What is your plan for Bepro? And those out there that keep saying it's rubbish or a scam and this, that, and other, before you put it, please tell me why you think it's a scam. Because everyone just puts scam coin and it's like, why? And then they disappear off the face of the earth. They never answer you. I'm like, okay, fine. So guys, we're going to wrap that there. Thank you for checking in and watching this, and we will see you in the next Bepro video. Hopefully moving ourselves back up to that 1.5 cent mark in a few days time. Let's see. Thanks guys. Bye bye.